Okay, so God is a redeemer of truth, and this is why it's so important to. Okay, I don't want to get too ahead of myself, okay? But we always ask ourselves, like, did God favor that person because they're a favorite of God's? And really, that is not what it is. God has no favorites. He does not favorite you or me. He has no favorites, okay? This is what it is. He favors truth. And so when you have been constantly misunderstood, constantly talked about, gossiped about, had rumors spread about you, constantly overlooked, what was happening was your truth was constantly being denied. And so God is a redeemer of all things true. And so that is why you will experience favor from God, because God wants to open your eyes to what is true, what is your true personality, what is your true career, what is your true purpose here on earth, what is your true friend group, your family, right? There is so much truth that other people can deny about you, and that is why the term black sheep has been thrown around a lot, because if you have been outcasted by your family and friends pretty much your whole life, or as long as you can remember, you started to identify yourself as the black sheep, and even those people were identifying you as the black sheep. But really, the thing was that your truth was just being denied and overlooked, or it was just being hidden, like it was never found. And so the thing is that I really don't think God wants us to be identifying ourselves as black sheep. I really think that I believe that he wants us to just walk in our truth, because when we walk in our truth, everything is just so easy. Everything is it's like we're on autopilot, right? It's like we're coasting in a car, and like if you have a newer version of a car, if you have a newer model of some sort, one second, Bubby, okay? If you have a newer model of a car, you know that there's cruise control, and that is exactly what it's like when you are walking in your truth, you're walking in your purpose, when you know your true identity, when you start hanging out around with people who see your truth as well, and you're able to just be yourself. And it's like, like all of this weight just finally like comes off of you, and you feel like you're in this cruise control position. Obviously, you know, like things are going to like happen that are going to keep pushing you, but really those things happen in order to build you up and to make you stronger and wiser. So like I want you to understand that as well. But really, when you're walking in your truth, it's like cruise control. And that is what life is supposed to feel like. It's supposed to feel like just freshness and wholeness all the time. And it is supposed to feel easy. And when you are walking in your truth, I'm going to say this, when you are walking in your truth, when you know your identity, when you know your strengths, you're able to just conquer things so much more easily. You're able to just be like way more optimistic, because your confidence is up. You're like, okay, like, you know, we got this. We're going to go to battle. We're going to go head to head. And that's all right, because I know that I'm going to defeat this thing, you know, whatever it is. And so whatever comes at you, it's really just like a way for you to increase your faith. And God put us here on this earth One second. God put us here on this earth. He created life in general, to experience the sunshine, to experience the air, to experience the atmosphere of what it's like to just experience life. And the thing about humans is that we're able to speak about these things. We're able to speak about the atmospheres we live in. We're able to speak about the abundance in the air that we feel all around us. We're able to speak about the abundance that comes from within. And so plants can't do that. So that's why God created us. He created us to speak about these things so we can just fuel each other, build each other up, right? Like speak into each other, because he gets enjoyment out of that. And living life in that way is true, because it's freedom. And that is something that we're all looking for. We're all looking for freedom. And going back to the and freedom is authenticity, by the way, okay? Which is equivalent to living in your truth, okay? Going back to the beginning point about favoritism, God has no favorites. And I just want to clarify this again, okay? He is a God of truth. He is a God of redeeming truth. And so when you have been denied, he's like, oh, no, 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 no. Like that person there, that child of God, which is another term for, oh, that human being that I created, is being denied of their truth, of who they are. They're being completely blindsided of who they are. They're not seeing who they are, because all of these people and things have constantly blinded them. And so the thing is that God wants to reveal that truth to that person. He wants to reveal that person's truth to that person. He wants to reveal that person's authenticity to that person, that authentic self to them. So Joseph was betrayed by all of his brothers. I think Joseph had 3 brothers. You can correct me in the comments if I'm wrong, but I think he had 3 brothers, and he was betrayed by all of them. Okay, all of them threw him in the ditch, basically, right? He was denied by his brothers, and that is why Joseph experienced the favor of God and not his brothers, because his brothers were assholes, okay? And so Joseph, he took all that pain, right? And he just like buried himself in the pain, but he like dealt with it in a way where he allowed it to strengthen himself, and he was able to experience the favor of God because God wanted Joseph's truth to come out. And I think that if one of Joseph's brothers were to defend Joseph, that brother as well would have been favored too. But it didn't work out like that, because God really wanted to emphasize what he will do for one person. And that is why people get so mixed up about like, oh, God has favorites. No, God does not have favorites. He has an eagerness to expose people's truths. And so even for bad people as well, right? Like the truth always comes out, okay? Shakespeare quote, okay? Like the truth will always be exposed, and it's for good and bad. But I really just wanted to leave you guys with that, and I hope that you got something out of that. And I really hope that blessed you and gave you a new perspective. And if it did, please say hello in the comments, give a thumbs up. And I hope that you'll stick around and subscribe. But yeah, I just needed to come on here and say that because it was like fire in my spirit to speak about this. Okay, I gotta get going. Bye, see you next time.